What's up, y'all? This is episode 3 of me turning this shed into a motorcycle workshop. All right, so I'm about to build a workbench. I've got a lot of tools. I don't have just like mechanical tools. I also have tools for woodworking, and I need storage for the woodworking tools, table saw, router table, miter saw, bandsaw, planer. I have a joiner that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to sell. And I need to be able to store all that stuff out of the way and be able to pull it out and move it outside when I need to use it. So as you can see, I've already moved the toolboxes onto this wall. The reason for that being, I want enough space on this workbench that I'm about to build to be able to store tools underneath it, maybe have a couple of drawers, and then have enough space for 2 people to be able to sit. So I'm all about maximizing the space. I don't want this shed to feel like it's super crowded and I can't even move in here. I have to keep in mind that I am going to want to pull a motorcycle in here, so I'm just going to try to keep it as organized as possible. So here's the area I'm working with. All right, so yeah, I took the toolboxes off of this wall. That's my 12-foot 2x4. I've got 2 of these 12-foot 2x4s that I'm about to reuse. This is 12 feet. So this is all gonna be workbench. I'm gonna be able to push my shop vac and my table saw up underneath there. Have a couple of drawers. I'm gonna need some shelving underneath. I've got lots of power tools. I'm only gonna bring the workbench about 2 feet out from the wall. And then this is gonna be mostly pegboard. And I might put a shelf on top so I can store even more stuff. I'm talking, if I can get it off, the more I can minimize the footprint of shit in here, the bigger it'll feel and the more motivated I'll be to come out here and work, because I'm not gonna be ready to pull my hair out because if I feel cramped and it's like super disorganized. I can't be in an area like that. I hate clutter. So yeah, speaking of clutter, yeah, I'll wrap that up in this episode and we'll be done. We're gonna move on with our lives. I'm gonna start working on motorcycles again. I'm just gonna start building this thing. So I'm gonna make the workbench the same height as this, just for continuity and aesthetics. 127. 127. I don't know how much plywood's gonna cost, but I'm gonna get a big sheet of the nice finished hot plywood. And then yeah, we're winging it. Wanging it. All right, let's get the miter saw. All right, I just got the pegboard in here. As you can see, I've got 2 outlets, so I need to cut holes for those. This is the workbench. I finally finished it. I got a kind of a finished 1-inch plywood for the top. I'm gonna get some Danish oil and put that on top just for a little bit of protection. And this is about 10.5 feet long. I know I said I was originally going to put it on this wall, but I figured it made more sense if it was going to take up that much space just to put it on its own like designated wall. And I'll have this work area right here. So I got this all hung up. Looks pretty good. More pegboard than I have currently in the garage, so I have a lot of stuff I'll be able to put on there. So this isn't my best work. Made some miscalculations. I actually had to move this outlet box up. I was so off on the hole that I cut that I had to turn the circuit off and move the outlet box up like a 1/2 inch. So I'm a dummy, but if I had given myself room to actually be able to lay the pegboard out down flat instead of trying to do it upright in here with this cramped space, I could have done a better job, but I was just being lazy, and that's what happens. So all right, now I'm not even gonna sand this top down because I don't care enough, and I don't want to get it super dusty in here, but I'm going to get my Danish oil and coat the top of this.
One week later.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Double Deuce in Jasper, Missouri. What movie? I can't believe I'm actually filming this. I'm done. It's amazing. It's organized the best way that I could get it. I got really worried at first that I wasn't going to have enough room for all of my stuff. But I did it. I got super overwhelmed. I quit and went inside the house a couple of times. It's taken me so much longer than I ever anticipated, just like every other project I decide to take on. I'm going to stop rambling on and show you my motorcycle workshop. Here it is. I did it. I can't believe it. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. It's pretty sweet. I organize things. I've never had all of my tools organized to this level before. It was usually, this is the tool drawer, all the tools go in this drawer. Like this is the hand tools drawer. This isn't the plier drawer. This isn't the drill drawer. This isn't the hammer drawer. So, yeah, I'm just gonna stop and take you on a tour here. I like watching videos of how people set up their workspaces, so I'm just gonna make my own video of that. So here, I'll show you guys.
Does everybody know what time it is?
So as you guys can see, I moved the toolboxes over on this wall. The length that I wanted to make my tool bench was exactly the length of this wall. So it was kind of screwing up the feng shui in here to have it on this wall. It just kind of didn't make sense like spatially, and it was going to kind of screw up the workflow. I didn't really know how to make it work keeping the toolboxes on that wall, and I actually really like it. So got everything set up. Beer fridge, random chair, manuals, books and stuff. Got my TV, blacklight poster that I had in college that's pretty old actually. I found it going through the garage, so figured I'd go ahead and hang it up out here, and got my little blacklight. All my license plates. So I like being able to decorate, and it looks like clean in here still. So this is one of my prized possessions. That's my Joan Jett poster. it was some like overstock inventory. 18 years old, I found a guy on eBay that was selling all these. They were still rolled up from 1983. Got some shop manuals here. And my truck book. That's seen a lot of use. An old Cycle Gear name tag up here. So this is my motorcycle parts and stuff. The bottom is my CL72 stuff. I've got my 175 stuff, and I've got a bunch of CB450 stuff in there too. I needed a separate space for my shop vac. I got some paints here. Most of my woodworking stuff is going to go in there too, like stains and sealers and stuff like that. This is my chemicals, WD-40, oil cleaners, all that. This is actually an old cabinet out of a hospital. Move my drill press over here for now. Bucket of tools I'm going to refinish. I got my bench grinder, my vices back here. I've got my jack that I bought for the motorcycle, old pipe vise. I've got my planer back there. You can't really see it very well. That thing is super heavy. My little pancake air compressor. My new welder I haven't used yet. Bandsaw. And then I've got a lot of my clamps for my woodworking stuff. Really didn't know how to set this up. I've never had so much room before, so tried to get that all organized. I put my JIS screwdrivers up here so I don't have to go digging for them. And then I kind of filled up the space with some cool stuff. So over here, I've got my ultrasonic cleaner. I don't really know how I'll use this space. I rebuilt an engine on top of this. So I rebuilt the engine of my 1963 CL72 on this bench. And up here, I made this my charging station for all my power tools. So that closes. Looks so good. So I've got all those. Didn't really know how I was going to set these up, so I kind of just went for it. Got a little bit of welding stuff in there. Allen wrenches. Random screwdrivers. My impact driver of my JIS bit. This is all the electrical stuff that I've gathered together so far. These are my little bits and bobs. These are kind of fine instruments. Figuring out the gap on my points. These help me figure out thread on standard and metric bolts if I need to get a replacement one. Then I've got electronic calipers. These are all just my files and rasps. These are all my sockets that don't go in my Craftsman set that I have. Got these metric and standard Allen head. This is my super unorganized wrench drawer. Kind of ran out of room in here. I need to figure out, basically all three of these won't fit. And then I've acquired random wrenches that I already have. I probably have 4 half-inch wrenches. Big boy wrenches. This is, what is this? This is my tap and die set. That's metric. This is my torque wrench. Random stuff for the truck that I've bought over the years, and all my dirty work gloves. Didn't know where to put this stuff. It's all my grinding wheel stuff. And then I've got some jigsaw blades, reciprocating saw blades, wire wheels. Got all my drills in here. These are all my drill bits. Most of them. I've got a lot going on. I don't know how I ended up with all these, but you know, you need them, so.
You can't touch this.
Hammer time. Pliers. These are snap ring pliers. And then I've got some random jigs in here. These pretty much just wouldn't fit in the drill drawer. So I've got room to grow. And I've got my big boy tools. And then I've got, you know, like my Dremel and my heat gun in there. And then down here I've got my like jigsaw, circular saw, tiny circular saw, palm router. All right, and then I drug these in. So these are horse stall mats from Tractor Supply. They're very heavy. They're heavy duty, thick rubber. I originally bought these so I could work out my garage and I didn't have rubber plates. So if I was like deadlifting, I didn't want to like bang up the concrete. I started working on my bikes and stuff on these. So I actually washed these. There's just like paint on them. Okay guys, this wraps up my motorcycle shed series. I'm finally going to be working on some motorcycles again. I want to thank my wife for kicking me out of the garage because this situation is way better than the garage situation. I always say this, but if this is your first time watching, you don't have to subscribe, but
it'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Yeah.
there are definitely new mice in here. There's already mice in here.
Maybe they're not new, they just went from the garage.
Were they like in the
They
stuff?
traveled in the
Why are
Rubbermaid totes.
Why are they in here? You think they're old mice? Well, they're old mice with beards because they grew up in the garage era mice.
They traveled.
They definitely didn't. I didn't take a mouse with me when I was moving.
So yes, you did.